message is for all women like me and all those who love and support women like me. I had something on my mind about grief and loss, the loss of loved ones, the loss of people who feel, who you have a relationship with, who are in close relationship with you in your life, and how that can affect you, and what you can look to God for, and what you can do to help bring you a sense of soothing, okay, and a sense of just being able to accept. This sounds so this sounds so like, oh, I'm gonna say something else. It sounds so corny, but the circle of life. If you've lost a loved one, I just want to encourage you today and give you some perspective, maybe a different perspective than what you already have. So excuse my line. I'm just kind of moving around. But yeah, so guys, listen, we all know that death is a part of life. Death is a part of life. Okay? I'm sure that did not make you feel any better. I'm sure that did not change the way that you feel about this, okay? But I do want you to remind yourself that in knowing that, it doesn't make it any easier when death occurs. It doesn't make it any easier. It doesn't make you feel like the death occurred at a time that was emotionally painful. But the first thing to accept is that, because a lot of people don't actually accept it. It's knowledge. A lot of people logically know that everything that lives dies. The vessel will die. But to actually process and accept it is a whole different thing. I believe that step one is working into a space where you are, where you have processed and accept that everyone you love, everything you see that is living, including yourself. But we're not talking about that because we can't mourn and grieve ourselves. So let me stay on track. Everything that you see and love that has life will die. At some point, it will no longer be here. And I'm not here to discuss the afterlife either, or what happens with your soul, any of that. Just the processing and understanding that nothing's going to be here forever. And not that people leaving the earth or animals or anything that you love, not that things leaving the earth should give you any type of joy. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that every day that you continue breathing is a day that you have been blessed with. So don't forget that. The fact that you are still here, even despite you having to witness and feel the feelings of losing someone else, your days that you are still here is still a blessing. And some people don't feel like their lives are blessings because of where they are. But I am here to tell you that life is a gift. Your breath is a gift that God decides that He gives you. So regardless of how unhappy you may be in the moment, how you may feel about your life, how you may feel about your past, how you may feel about your decisions, how you may feel about things that were done to you, that were not fair, that were ugly, that were unjust, that were damaging, the breath that you breathe in each day is still a gift. And you are the decision maker to decide how you're going to feel about your life, how you're going to feel about that. Okay, how are you going to feel about your circumstances? One of my first, maybe between the first first through fifth video that I ever made had to do with, if you're not familiar with Dr. Cindy Trim, it had to do with the power of non-resistance. Yeah, these ugly, nasty, just detrimental things happen to us in moments during this life journey, but it is up to you to decide how you feel about those things, good or bad. New life or new death. Ultimately, your level of happiness is dependent upon the decisions you make about how you feel about the things that happen to you. Because everything's going to happen. So many things are going to happen to you. You're going to experience so many ups, downs, things that are considered good, things that are considered bad, healthy, toxic. You're going to experience all of these things through this life journey. It's just a part of life. Yeah. But back to my point. It's a blessing that you're here to even witness it. Because just as the next person's time might have been up here, yours could have been up too. But since it's not, It is up to you to make a decision of what kind of feelings you're going to have about your life and what kind of life you want to have. And when you don't feel like being here is a blessing, that is a direct correspondence to the decision that you're making about what kind of life you have. It's a decision. The way you feel about things is a decision. I don't have the words right now to really express what I mean about that, nor do I have the opportunity because I want to move on to the point of the video. Move forward. Continue moving forward. So, in saying what I've just said, first we have to understand and actually just process the facts that everyone will leave. We don't know when it's going to happen. We don't know how it's going to happen. We don't know whether they're going to leave before us or after us. Everyone has to go at some point. Okay? Then making the decision of how you feel about the fact that you are still here, despite the fact that maybe someone you loved it was their time to go. I will even go on to say that if you are feeling like it's not a blessing that you're here, you need to go see somebody and talk to somebody to help you change your mind. Okay? That's therapy. That's therapy. Therapy is a tool for you to learn how to manage and honestly to help you live your best and most healthy life. But just like finding any other relationship that works or doesn't work, you have to find a therapist that you lock in with, that fits you and suits you well. Therapy is a great tool. Okay, so the next thing I want to say about death. Since we fully process the fact that everybody have to go, and we're not in charge of when that happens or how that happens. Understanding that our emotions are also God-given. You feel it. Whatever hurt, whatever pain, whatever discomfort, longing, those type of feelings that you are feeling for that person that you love or that you wish you would still be able to see here on earth, you feel it. You don't try to stop yourself from feeling it. Okay? One thing that happens when it comes to grief is that if you try not to feel it, it's gonna think of a pipe. These things have to come out. How odd would it be if something is funny to you, right? And everyone has had to do this before, I'm sure. You've been in a circumstance or situation where it might be inappropriate for you to laugh at the time, but something very funny happens. And that pressure you feeling building up in you when you're trying to stop yourself from laughing, it's because that emotion wants to come out and be expressed, right? But laughter is a positive emotion. Okay? So if it's trapped in, even though you felt that pressure, it's not stressing your body out. It's not giving you any uncomfortable and negative feelings. But let's use the reverse. Something like grief, which is a very powerful feeling. Sadness, mourning, despair, even resentment, depending on how the death might have occurred. Okay? Think about holding that in. Things that are held in have to be expressed somewhere. And that tension, those chemicals that are released from your brain when you're feeling those type of things, all of that being pressurized into your body. I don't know the scientific effects. I'm not a scientist. But I'm able to reasonably think that that thing can be doing no good for your body to be trapped in there. It can't be doing any good. It's energy. Energy goes somewhere. You have to get it out. You have to allow yourself to express it. But what you don't want to do, those of you who are believers, those of you who follow God, love God, are happy for all of these blessings that he bestows upon you, even though he says that in his word, everything will return back to dust. We were made from dust. We return back from dust. If you haven't processed and accepted that, you will start to resent him for doing the exact thing that he said in his word was going to happen. And that's where we go wrong. God doesn't take people from you. We're his. We belong to him. Take the circumstances out of it. You know, how the person passed, when, where, what happened. The fact is that if God is in control of everything, in this world, which he indeed is. But if you believe that before the person died, it didn't change just because the person passed. He is still in control. And everyone has that divine appointment when it's time to go back to dust. And I'm not saying this to be insensitive. I'm trying to make sure that whoever's under the sound of my voice gets a good understanding that God is not your enemy, because he took what belonged to him from this earth. He can do whatever it is that he sees fit to do. And before there was a you, outside of you and your connection and your relationship to this being, that being is still his. For him to do what he would like to do with it. Yes, it's hurtful. It's painful. The fact that you will no longer see this person in front of you in the flesh living through your days. It's hurtful. And you are so allowed to feel that. You are so allowed to miss them. Please resist the want to be angry at God for doing what was in his divine plan with something that didn't belong to you. That life, that person belonged to him. The thought occurred to me, and when it comes to encouragement, the encouragement piece is not to turn your back on God because you're sad and you're grieving someone. I've seen it happen. I've heard it happen. And God is not the enemy. He is, if you put him in position, he can be the love of your whole life. If you put him in position, he will be the one that can soothe and comfort you through your loss. If you put him in position, he can be the one that you trust that the reason that that person left this earth was for a divine reason. It wasn't just for nothing. It wasn't to bring God joy. It wasn't to bring you pain. When we start feeling like that, it's because we still have very self-centered, egocentric thoughts about things that happen in the earth. It's not about you. Though you were directly affected emotionally, mentally, spiritually, them being here in the first place and them leaving was not about you. So finding some resolve in that and honoring God in spite of the way that you feel is the correct way to deal with those hurt feelings. He will help you get through it. But he didn't take them from you because they weren't yours to begin with. God created everybody to serve a certain purpose here. Now, whether they lived out their purpose or not, different conversation. But there comes a time that creation, according to God, who knows everything and is all powerful, and has divine plans for us all, he said, their time is done here. The use that I had for them being here, that wave is over. So what I want to encourage you to do is pray for your loved ones. Help your loved ones. Because one thing we can't have any say-so or influence on is when they're going to leave. But we have a powerful influence on how they can be. We can't change anybody. We can't make anybody do anything. But we can encourage and inspire others to take care of themselves spiritually, to develop that tight relationship with God, so that if we are concerned at all about their soul, that we can help influence them in a way that at least we can feel good about knowing that their soul is taken care of. Their body gonna go back to dust, but their soul. Pray for and love on your loved ones while they're here, because that's the only thing we got control over. That's what I want to encourage you to do today. And when your loved one leaves this earth, thank God that he hasn't left you so that he can help you put those pieces back together. The pieces of your broken heart. He can help you put those back together. everyone does have to leave this earth. That's all I got. It wasn't a positive, it wasn't a feel good message, but I do believe that it is a helpful message for you. And I would hope that those who have ears to hear what I was trying to express would take it that way. All right.
I love you all. To get deeper into this bubbly life with Shay's champagne encouragement, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It's poppin'.